Rhythm is the feature that transforms sound into music. In a word, it is the tempo of music. Some students of music are of the opinion that man's first music was expressed through rhythm. This indeed is suggested by the music of primitive peoples. Yet, in ancient civilizations, musical rhythm was immediately linked to poetic or metrical rhythm. The Greeks, for example, used the short accent as their unit of rhythm. This sign was doubled to form a long accent. When combined in twos or threes, these accents formed simple feet, such as the Iambus or the dactyl. These feet, in their turn, made up compound feet, ranging from the dipody, 2 feet, to the pentapody, 5 feet. The rhythmical pattern was indicated by the thesis, accentuation or strong beat, and the arsis or weak beat. In Western music, this form of rhythm fell into disuse when awareness of the duration of a syllable was lost. This happened at the end of the Roman Empire. The Christian chant, followed by plain song or Gregorian chant, converted the melodic accent into a percussive accent. Though this transformation was not extended to psalmody, hymns and rhyme sequences, which retained the metrical structure of poetry. A further step towards the modern concept of rhythm occurred between 1100 and 1200 with the introduction of rhythmic modes and staff notation. In effect, the duration and accent of rhythm were organized, and notes were assigned an exact measurement, the values of the long and the short or breve being set in a ratio of 3:1 or 2:1. Adoption of this notation, in other words, establishment of the duration of each note, did not result in stilted rhythms. Western music, in fact, was marked by considerable freedom and a great wealth of rhythm from the 14th to the 16th century, especially in the polyphonic compositions typical of those times. It was only around 1600 that radical simplifications were introduced, with the idea of reducing the complications of contrapuntal music. The bar was invented, that is to say, the metrical unit falling between two successive accented beats. The end of a bar was shown by a vertical line cutting the musical staff, while a double line was used to indicate the end of a section or a piece of music. Definition of the bar was also accompanied by determination of the length of a sound or note. This was indicated by its form and an exact mathematical value, from 1 to a 64th. The unit is represented by the semibrave, and the series progresses by halving, so that the semibrave is divided into 2 minims, 4 crotchets, 8 quavers, 16 semiquavers, 32 demi-semiquavers, and 64 hemi-demi-semiquavers. The rhythm, too, was organized into binary groups, i.e. with 2 beats, 1 weak and 1 strong, known as duple time, and in ternary groups, namely 3 beats, 1 strong and 2 weak, called triple time. There was also quadruple time, which is double duple time, with a secondary accent on the 3rd beat. Many compositions were based on this organization of rhythm. A typical example of the use of duple time can be seen in Beethoven's 7th Symphony. Triple time, too, was typical of the minuet and was put to innumerable uses. A characteristic expression can be found in Schubert's 8th Symphony, the Unfinished. In the same way, quadruple time was widely adopted in musical literature and brings to mind Tchaikovsky's fantasy overture, Romeo and Juliet. Nor is there any lack of other compound, irregular times, devised by the inspiration and expressive capacity of different composers, especially since the middle of the last century. Models from the East and from Central Europe were typical in this respect. These are composed of 5 or 7 beats, i.e. various combinations of duple or triple times. In addition to the accent and duration of a sound or note, an essential feature of rhythm is its dynamics, or speed, or tempo. Although it has always been present, the tempo was not indicated in the writing down of music until the 18th century. Previously, pulse beats or other agreed systems were used in most cases. Mathematical precision, however, was not introduced until 1816, when a German, Melzel, invented the metronome, which was adopted by Beethoven. There are 3 categories of tempo: slow, moderate, and fast. Slow tempi comprise largo, larghetto, and adagio. They range from 40 to 76 beats. Moderate tempi are called andante and moderato. They have 76 to 120 beats. The fast tempi are allegro, presto, and prestissimo. Yet these tempi are never rigid, since corrections in the form of speeding up or slowing down are imposed either by the composer's instructions or the interpretation given to a piece by the performer or the conductor of an orchestra. We can appreciate the power and the suggestiveness of rhythm and how it molds the language of music if we listen to some typical rhythms. The roll of a tom-tom. The meter of a Gregorian psalm. The triple rhythm of the saraband. And the waltz. Modern music, however, has also sought paths marked by an absence of rhythm, especially in electronic music. As in this fragment from a work by the German composer Stockhausen.